We will not let our sorrow for the loss of life overcome us. We will not lose sight of all the good that we are working together to do. We will not change our course or cancel our plans, including our plans to come together in Paris later this month for the UN Climate Conference. And President Obama told me today how much he looks forward to being here and being part of that important moment.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad he's looking forward to that. I played John Kerry for you because I want to talk to our next guest about the quote that we discussed earlier, John Kerry's remarks. But we welcome in my friend for a long time, David Limbaugh, political commentator, best-selling author. And I had him on when he had his book, Jesus on Trial. And he's back with another one that's sure to be just as controversial, entertaining, and educational, the Emmaus Code. And it's all about finding Jesus in the Old Testament. Now, David, welcome, my friend.
Hey, Steve, thanks for having me.
And we're going to get to the book in a second, but I can't get over John Kerry, according to State Department transcripts today, basically saying that there was a difference between the Charlie Hebdo attacks and the Paris attacks last week. That in the Hebdo attacks, he said that there was sort of a legitimacy. Then he said, not legitimacy, but a rationale that you could attach yourself to and somehow perhaps even be angry and understand why they did that attack. He says, but this attack in Paris was, Friday was totally random, totally arbitrary. So in other words, when Palestinians kill Jews, we can understand that. When you insult the Prophet Muhammad and they shoot up the magazine and kill all those innocent people, we could understand that. But this we can't understand. What world am I living in, David?
When you told me that over the break, because I'm in a book launch promotion cave, I went into atrial fibrillation and had to be excused, and we delayed this show for a little bit. I am aghast. This highlights exactly how clueless these guys are, how warped their worldview is. This is Obama, Kerry, all of them right down. Hillary Clinton. The terrorists, the Islamists, hate us because we are not Islamists, and we will not submit, so they have to kill us. That's all there is to it. That is their cause. They don't need an external cause. They don't need for us to make them mad. They are eternally, perpetually mad at us because we are not acquiescing to their global caliphate. And then fighting back is even worse. Of course, Obama isn't fighting back, so they're probably not real mad at him. They're still probably mad at George Bush. But so the suggestion that there is some legitimacy to any of their actions is so outrageous as to be unspeakable. And as you say, Palestinians, so now these guys can attach some false moral equivalency to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, right. And they can say that there are some reasons that ought arguably justify their mayhem and murder and atrocities. It is so morally inverted, Steve, that it's amazing we've elected these hooligans twice.
David, so now just like they pick and choose winners and losers in the business world and in the economic world, now they're picking legitimacy and illegitimacy of terror attacks. Let's move on, because I want to get the book in, certainly. People say to me, but Steve, you're Jewish. How could you have somebody on who's going to say that you could find Jesus in the Old Testament? And I say, Christians are my friends. David's my friend. If he has an opinion, if he has a theory, whatever, more power to him. Doesn't mean I believe it, but I think it's an important book, so talk about it.
Yeah, the idea of the Emmaus Code, and obviously the Jews don't subscribe to the New Testament, but I want to say at the outset, and this isn't sucking up, it's the truth, I love the Jewish people. We love Israel, and I think there's a great mutual respect. The fact that you guys don't accept this doesn't make me disrespect you or anything, and I hope it's not the other way around.
Absolutely
I know it's
not.
with
sure.
you. So we're brothers in this fight. But the Emmaus Code is based on a story in the Gospel of Luke where two of Jesus' disciples are walking along despondent because their promised Messiah had died without a whimper. That is, they thought he was going to redeem Israel from Rome and declare a military, or lead them to military victory and liberty and all that, and get out of the clutches of the Romans. And he died and didn't do it. In fact, it was almost humiliating. He died on the cross. And so Jesus walks up to them it appears out of nowhere and starts talking to him, asking him, what's wrong? What's wrong with you guys? And they are made not to recognize him, the scripture says. And he says, they say, are you the only person in the world who doesn't know what's just happened in the last few days? Jesus, our promised Messiah, died, and he didn't deliver us, and we just don't know what to think. Our whole world is shattering around us. And the scripture then says that he took them through all of the scriptures, and beginning with Moses and the law and the prophets, in other words, the Old Testament,
Right.
the Hebrew Bible, and showed them how every bit of it pointed to him.
Well,
Now,
David, I got to end it there because of time, but everybody check it out, get the Emmaus code, and you decide. And I thank you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.